Hello, everybody. So I've just had to yet again put down this flavoured water nonsense that a friend of mine is responsible for having. I don't know if he came up with this idea on his own or if he heard it from somewhere and he believed it. Like, he tried to convince me that every beverage sold in a pub, like, what his exact words was, like, in the pub, like, everything we serve here is just flavoured water. Like, it is not flavoured water. Honestly, it isn't. Okay, right? But people do. They lap this up and think like, oh, I don't. I really don't want to piss on his bonfire. And I've done a whole stand-up bit about this. I've had people in the audience like heckle and say, well, yeah, it's flavoured water. Obviously, no. Like, yeah, unless it's just water, for instance, it's unflavoured. In which case, it's not flavoured water, is it? It's just water. Yeah, and then it's like, well, what about a latte we serve in the pub? That's flavoured milk, isn't it? Like, or you can construct like some very circuitous way of getting around it, like saying, because what is milk? Milk is plasma, basically, mostly water, yeah, and denatured white blood cells, and that's more or less what milk is. And like like you're going to try and like say that, like, oh, in the mammary glands of the cow, she's flavoring water with denatured white blood cells. Like, it's honestly a bit of a stretch. I think like we're dealing with like quite a different substance than a mere like flavored water. It happens to have a flavor. It's not water that has been intentionally flavored though. It's about a bit more than flavour. It's mostly about giving calves nutrition. But I mean, like, that fact notwithstanding, it's like all the orange when you're making orange juice, like that's flavouring the waters of the orange. Like, I suppose, like, by that logic, you could almost say that any organism is flavoured water. Like, yeah, like, is that like an elegant suggestion? Like, yeah, I don't know, like people do, like, I've got this guy on Facebook now, like, on another stupid argument on the internet. It's like, Sam Cottle replying to me, all beverages are effectively flavoured water. And this is on the page IFLScience. I mean, as in I fucking love science. And it's like, well, sorry, I've got to like parry you with like some science, some facts. Like, no, it is not flavoured water merely. Like, yeah, and also a lot of things, like, yeah, to some extent they are sort of flavoured water, granted, like, oh, what is wine? Like, what is grape juice that's been fermented, more or less. Pressed and fermented grape juice. Again, I wouldn't have quite gone and said that, like, the juice of a grape is exactly flavoured water, though. If you see what I mean. Like, what's flavoured water? Squash is flavoured water. Like, you get some water, put some flavouring in it, you got flavoured water. Coca-Cola, that is flavoured water. Yeah, that is. 100%. Tea, flavoured water, yeah. And yeah, like, granted, like, quite a few things are flavoured water in a pub. But it's like, everything we serve here is just flavoured water. Like, I know he was saying this, like, to customers, like, as a prank. Almost. And, like, yeah, not really believing it, like, but some people do take it seriously and believe it. That's the fucking problem with these sorts of things. Like, he's like leaning over the bar, like, being all wise, like a wise little owl and avuncular, like sort of like a guy with glasses, and everything we serve here is flavoured water, and all the customers would have looked at one another like with like, no, I don't think that's right, quite. Most of them probably, like, flavoured water. What bunk? Like, what rubbish. Oh god. Like, what could be said about all beverages in a pub? Most are alcoholic. the majority that we sell probably are actually. So even 50-50 split. Actually, no, it isn't. Most people do drink in pubs, alcohol. But then, like, I was working, he worked at the same pub where I used to work. And I went back to work there again. So like a food serving pub. I remember it was about half and half, probably mostly soft drinks actually, because most people were eating and like having soft drinks. And like lots of families would come in as well, so yeah, quite a few soft drinks. I don't know what to say about like all beverages in pubs, how I'd characterise all of them. They're all liquids. But yeah, then we're into mundanities, and we're into the quotidian. And you know, this idea of all pub beverages being flavoured water merely, you know, it seems quite alluring. Like it does, it seems quite exotic as an idea. Like, ooh, I didn't think of it like that before. Quite. Flavoured water, you say? Mm-hmm. Very interesting, you know. But, wrong, also, like a true flavoured water is like squash or Coca-Cola. That is flavoured water. But beer, like, that's malted barley and hops, like mashed up, boiled, and then fermented. So it's a couple of steps removed from being just flavoured water. Like, the flavouring of water is part of the process. It's by no means the whole story. Then you get distilled spirits, and they have water added back into them. But like the process of distillation, obviously, is designed to remove all water from a substance and leave you with pure alcohol, or a refined spirit, basically, of some description. You know, and when they commercially sell spirits, they add water back into the spirit, so it's not really flavoured water as such. It is diluted strong alcohol, more like, which we know anyway, obviously, but yeah, like, so yeah, I mean, that's like what I would have gone for first, like to try and parry that. I would have probably gone for like, well, what about distillation? It's designed to remove all water from something, and as I use this, but it's still like it's not even mostly water. I don't think. I think like what's whiskey? Say that's like 40% alcohol, and then there are other things in there. There's all sorts of terpenes and flavanols. I want to say various things in it. There are different chemicals, and then it might be about half water. But again, I'm not certain. I don't actually know really enough about the process of whiskey making, and I'm not bothered enough about the outcome of the argument to really delve into that side of things too much, because now I've got this milk issue. You know, I've got the milk-based beverages like milkshakes and latte and what have you. I think that's like the argument more or less over. Again, I don't want to piss on his bonfire, but fuck me, it is. It's such a yeah, like, an idiotic thing to think. Like, it's not that idiot. Well, I don't know. It's like one of these sorts of things that comes out of the mouth of a sciencey person. It's like, you just did not think hard enough about that. That's all. And yeah, like, science is not always right, and is there bullshit in science? Yeah, like, probably quite a bit. I mean, string theory. Well, maybe not string theory in its entirety. I don't want to be too mean on it. Yeah, anyway. We've all believed in bullshit in the past. Every single person has, myself included, obviously. You know, no one's omniscient. Like the process of learning, really, and like being scientifically minded always has to focus on constantly reappraising your assumptions and constantly testing your assumptions against new data that emerge and new findings, new results, and not sticking doggedly to your position in the face of conflicting evidence, and being open-minded and and being willing to see differing points of view and perspectives on a problem. So everything served in pubs, bars, restaurants. Flavoured water, absolutely not. Of course not. A lot of it is, but most of it, well, a great deal of it isn't. At the minimum, if not, whatever. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye bye. I love you lots.